The belief that stars can influence the way we live has existed since ancient times. The astrological horoscope prevalent in the West has its origins in several cultures, with inspiration in Babylonian astrology, Egyptian mathematics, and Greek mystical and philosophical thought. This is how the zodiac horoscope arose. The word zodiac means circle of animals. These creatures are represented in the constellations observable in the sky, and the origin of these beings is bound up with different stories from Greek mythology. This video is sponsored by Incogni. Every day, we are bombarded with unsolicited messages, emails, and calls from companies that seem to know everything about our lives and use this information to offer unsolicited services or products. This happens because there are countless data brokers gathering and selling your personal information. Furthermore, your data can also end up in the hands of criminals who will use them to commit all sorts of frauds. Incogni is the solution to this problem. They help protect user privacy by requesting the removal of personal data from data brokers, dealing with all the bureaucracy involved so you don't have to. After you create an account and ask for the removal of data, they will, with your authorization, resolve the issue while keeping you in the loop, step by step. The whole process is automated for the Incogni user. Incogni can help you to finally be set free from all those spam emails and unwanted store registrations. The first 100 people to use the code CUINHISTORY will get 60% off of Incogni. Click the link that's in the description. The sign of Aries is represented by a ram. According to Greek myth, Phrixus, prince of Boeotia, was the target of a conspiracy by his stepmother, who wanted to kill him. Answering the prayers of the prince's mother, Hermes sent a golden ram to rescue Prince Phrixus and his sister. But during the journey through the skies, the princess fell off the ram and drowned in the sea waters. After reaching the region of Colchis, the young man sacrificed the beautiful animal in honor of the gods. The golden wool became the object of coveting by kings and heroes, such as the Argonauts. For its services, the golden lamb was honored in the heavens in the form of the constellation Aries. The sign of Taurus represents Zeus's metamorphosis into a bull to attract and abduct the princess Europa. In his bovine form, Zeus approached the princess, and she was delighted with the beautiful animal. With the help of her friends, she climbed onto the bull, which took the princess for a ride. At first, Europa had fun on the bull, riding the waves. But Zeus took her to the island of Crete against her will. The couple united and gave birth to a noble offspring, including King Minos, who went on to rule the island of Crete, land of the fearsome Minotaur. The constellation Taurus marked in the stars another of Zeus's ruses. The sign of Gemini is associated with the myth of the brothers Castor and Pollux, brothers of Helen of Troy and sons of Leda and Zeus. Zeus turned into a swan to seduce Leda, and the twins were born from an egg generated by their mother. The twins became great heroes, but Castor died in his brother's arms after a fight against rivals. Distraught, Pollux asked Zeus to bring his brother back to life. The god proposed that he and his brother rotate their days on Earth. He agreed, and the brothers started to live in the same body alternately. The Gemini constellation symbolizes the brotherly love between Zeus's two sons. The sign of Cancer is symbolized by a crab. The creature is associated with the myth of Hercules battling the powerful Hydra of Lerna. The hero was about to defeat the creature, so the crabs were sent by the goddess Hera to aid the Hydra in the fight against Hercules. Despite their efforts, the crabs could not measure up to Hercules and were defeated. The goddess honored the creature's efforts by placing them among the stars through the constellation of Cancer. The sign of Virgo is associated with the goddess Astraea, daughter of Themis, the goddess of justice. She personified purity and innocence and was considered a just and impartial deity. She initially lived among men, trying to promote justice, but during the Iron Age they became so corrupt that the goddess decided to leave the earth and ascended to the heavens, where she became the constellation of Virgo. The sign of Leo is associated with the myth of the hero Hercules and his 12 famous labors. The Nemean lion terrorized the region. Hercules was sent to confront the creature, famous for having an impenetrable hide that no weapon could harm. Hercules faced the beast with great courage in a hotly contested fight. The hero eventually strangled the animal and went on to wear the Nemean lion's skin as a cloak. This victory was eternalized among the stars in the constellation of Leo. The sign of Libra is symbolized by the scales of Themis, the Greek goddess of justice and balance. The goddess is known for her wisdom in dispensing justice, being merciful to the good and unforgiving to criminals. In later depictions, she appeared with a blindfold over her eyes, showing that all are equal before justice, and that her judgment is unbiased. The scale of the goddess remained forever in the heavens in the constellation of Libra. The sign of Scorpio is associated with the myth of Orion and Artemis. He was a giant and a great hunter. Therefore, he had an excellent relationship with Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, who had a special affection for Orion. According to some versions of the myth, this relationship between the two seemed almost like a romance. Apollo, the goddess's brother, to preserve his sister's virginal purity, sent a scorpion to kill Orion. Orion and the scorpion died during the battle. Both were immortalized in the constellations of Orion and Scorpio. The sign of Sagittarius is a centaur with a pointed bow. This centaur was Chiron, the wisest of the species, a great trainer of heroes. He trained such figures as Achilles and Jason. Chiron was transformed into the constellation Sagittarius after his accidental death caused by Hercules, but his deeds were never forgotten, and the figure was etched into the stars. The sign of Capricorn is symbolized by the strange figure of a fish-tailed goat. This figure is associated with the myth of Pan, the wild god. In the famous myth of Typhon, the monster that defied the gods, many deities disguised themselves as animals to escape the beast. Pan jumped into the sea to escape the creature's wrath and developed a fish tail to flee. According to some scholars, the constellation of Capricorn depicts Pan's metamorphosis. Although it seems like a tribute to a cowardly act, Pan was one of the few gods who returned to help Zeus in the fight against Typhon. The sign of Aquarius evokes the myth of the abduction of the beautiful Ganymede, so handsome that he was kidnapped by Zeus to serve the gods on Olympus. He replaced Hebe as the cupbearer of the gods. The job was to fill the gods' cups and jars with the nectar of immortality and ambrosia. But Ganymede was a prince of Troy. His parents were distraught over their son's disappearance. To appease the grief of Ganymede's parents, Zeus created the constellation Aquarius so that, when they looked up into the sky, they would remember their son. The sign of Pisces is symbolized by two fish. But did you know that these fish are the gods of love and passion, Eros and Aphrodite? When the powerful monster Typhon defeated Zeus, several gods fled Olympus. Among them were Aphrodite and her son Eros. They, to escape the monster, transformed themselves into fish and swam to Egypt, where their divinity was recognized. The escape of the gods of love from Greece was inscribed in the heavens in the constellation of Pisces. Did you already know the origin of your sign? What did you think of the story about it? Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like it. Until next time.